Moon. Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. Just earlier today, I received an email, permission granted, to share with you the world in regards to an incredible sighting. Why don't you guys take a look at this right now? All right, we're looking at this incredible video and we're going to be going over in detail in regards to some of the phenomena that we're witnessing in regards to these lights in the sky. What could they be? Some people might even speculate that these are parachuters with pyrotechs, but after you look at the video a little closer, you can tell that this fiery objects, whatever they are way too large to be parachuters with simple pyrotechs. And some people also might speculate that they could be military flares, but in comparison to what military flares look like, what you're looking at right now, it doesn't leave any kind of indication of a smoke trail. These lights are individual, they're very bright, they change in colors and dynamics, and at one point in the video, you can almost make out a craft, a black flying saucer, the light in between, and this black silhouette. Is this the ship itself? Is it being revealed? Is there some kind of cloaking that we're looking at that is giving some kind of illusion? Something that resembles maybe the Predator. It's not a full cloak, but it almost reveals a craft in itself, massive in size. You can see it as it passes down through the clouds, then it disappears, but then it reappears as it traverses lower beneath the cloud line, and you can reveal and see this black silhouette. What could this be? It's amazing footage. We have the panel with us today who's going over it. Rich from Goof On, and Dark Hour Paranormal. We also got Alex Gershowitz on the team chiming in. Let's start it off with Rich. Rich, what's your thoughts?
Well, we got a really good sighting here. Something that, us ufologists just dream about. I know that a couple of you are immediately going to say it's skydivers or drones, but you have to look at this a little bit closer because these lights aren't doing the regular routine of skydivers or drones. This is something that I can't think of anything that it reminds me of. It's not parachutes, it's not flares. I don't see the drone. There's a lot of little things in this video that are real interesting to me, whether they're a camera anomaly or not. We do kind of see a disc shape, almost like a donut, around these lights. And there are some times when you record a bright light with a darker background that you will get two little black anomalies on the right and the left of the bright object. But in this case, you see what looks like a donut. And it happens when it's in front of the clouds, it happens when it's away from the clouds, and it doesn't happen all the time, but you could definitely see this black anomaly. Now, I'm pretty sure it probably is an anomaly of the camera with the bright light and the darker background, but we also see the lights change color. The one on top, you'll see it turns red at one point, almost like a fire red. And then the other one turns white, and then you have this other one that stays on the bottom. It stays like a goldenish. It reminds me of what the Phoenix lights would look like if they were moving around. And the reason I don't think it's parachuters or, you know, those guys with the boots that smoke and everything, you don't see smoke. There was no plane in the area that we could see, and you don't hear anything. Now, I don't know exactly how far away we are from the lights, but they do tend to hover in certain areas. Not only that, you even see the lights, it's just my opinion, it looks like they're taking off and then they pop up again. The light gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it's gone. And it looks like they're taking off and then they appear again. It's a unique sighting. I have to give this guy credit. He doesn't know what it is. He named it UFOs, I guess. So if you know what this is, be my guest and explain it to me. I don't know how it can be flares. I know what it isn't. Not the normal. Could we be seeing drone technology? I would think so, but when the lights do disappear, right, they get smaller. It's not that they're dimming out. Dimming out is a lot different than leaving the area and shrinking. Yeah, I think these are real UFOs. Back-engineered craft. Maybe we have them and we're just testing them. They all do tend to go to the ground, but not all of them make it. Some of them just disappear and you never see them again. I say some of them because I think there's more than 3. It seems like either there's 3 and they're just, jumping in and out and it looks like more. But at one time it looks like one of these lights splits into 2 or even 3. It's really interesting. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's skydivers with the fancy boots and the smoke. I don't think it's flares. We don't see any smoke. We don't see any gondola or parachute. I don't see any parachute, so it's not a parachutist. Could it be drones? I don't know. I don't think so. It's true unidentified objects. Are they meta propulsion craft? Probably. But this is really good. I'm really happy that we had this one to talk about.
Interesting insight there, Rich. Now let's take it out to Michael from Dark Hour. Michael, what's your thoughts on this video that you just witnessed moments ago?
This is awesome. All right, this is really cool. We're looking in this video at 4 bright objects that eventually break into 3 definitive ones that eventually divide again as the video progresses. Now, one appears brighter, perhaps in flames at a certain point, but there seems to be some sort of plasma splashing out and dissipating. Is that what we're actually witnessing? Many times we see throughout this video clip some sort of wave of what appears to be fire or sparks coming out, and again it has this sort of fluid character about it, which again reminds me of what plasma might look like. Now, when they open the video up here, they do form a triangular figure, okay, before dividing off and splitting on their own ways. But when they do this, we see one disappear completely. In another instance, you can see the darkened or muted outline while the light itself is not present. If they are using cloaking, I assume it isn't perfect, and that depending on the angle and environmental light refraction, you may still be able to see an outline of sort. If it is cloaking, the light is either extinguished or it is cloaked as well, which in my opinion doesn't seem to be a very easy thing to do, even if you have the ability to cloak certain materials. The objects seem to be trading luminosity at certain points. Is there some science within their flight formations wherein they may be exchanging energy or creating a field between the craft? I understand that's purely a speculative thought, but we are seeing some strange activity in the way of, again, the luminosity between the crafts, and sometimes when they're in the figures that they are. Now, if these were flares, I don't see any reason they would be a light and then go out, only to relight once again as the video goes through. They also wouldn't be stationary and have intelligent movement, again, the way that we see these objects. They also wouldn't be dividing. I've never seen a flare or any sort of lamp divide, again, the way these objects do. And just to top it off, at one point we see one of these objects start glowing bright red, which encompasses this craft, and as it goes out, watches the other two that are left, as we have three in the end, that seem to land on the ground or go out shortly before doing just that. What is this? Fascinating, to say the very least.
Let me know your thoughts, Alex.
Hi, Blake. So this is a very interesting video. I like the video for a bunch of reasons. The first one is that I think it's shot right next to a airport. Could be a military airport, but I think that you can see a airport tower in the first couple of frames. It's also surrounded by what seems to be a barbed wire fence, so it's got at least some possibilities of that. But the vehicles are stationary. There seems to be a bunch of stop signs in front of it. It may be the end of a road, or the road by an airport runway, or whatever that is. Anyway, what you see is a bunch of lights coming down, and there are as many as 5 or 6 and as little as 3 or 4, maybe 5. There's 5 or 6 lights out there, and what you see is them coming down in a relatively downward slope. You don't see any of them moving up. They seem to be falling at a constant rate. But they do combine and separate, which is very, very interesting. It's almost as though they had the ability to turn the lights off and on, come close to each other, maybe, stay next to each other. But they do continue on a downward slope, and that's interesting. Nothing ascends. At first I thought they could be flares, although flares would have smoke coming out of them. These don't have any smoke. It's not inconceivable that the armed forces have a smokeless flare, but why would you have a smokeless flare? At any rate, these things seem to be coming down in an S-shape downward slope, which basically resembles skydivers. So what I think these are is military skydivers on maneuvers landing at a military airfield. They are probably wearing some sort of light devices that you can turn on and off and vary the colors for whatever signaling reasons they have. I've seen videos of people coming out of airplanes with lights on their helmets and things over here that they sort of vary. Military guys. At any rate, that's what I believe it is. And furthermore, when they land, if you see the first one that lands, he lands really close to something that looks like a building, and it's a one-story building, and you can sort of get relative size of this light object to the building, and I think it's a person. At any rate, I think these are military skydivers.
All right, so we decided to get some real close-ups of what this really is, and we're zooming in and we're getting a clear picture. I obviously think we're looking at something that's actually a craft, something huge. You'd notice this large body, this volume of something within the light. It kind of expands outside of the light. You see it almost like disc-like, which is very unique. We've never seen anything like this in the sky to really compare it to. Some people might say this is kind of an artifact in the lens, a sensor that this light is particularly so bright it's kind of making a dark shadow around it, some sort of like an anomaly in the camera. I really don't think this is the case. I'm thinking we're looking at something huge. It looks almost like a flying saucer when you kind of get this detail, this close-up picture of it. It's fascinating. It's absolutely an incredible sighting, and again, I have to rule out military flares just to the fact that there's no indicator of smoke trails behind it. And the way they descend and then pause and then rapidly descend again, it's kind of uncharacteristic of some kind of parachute holding up a military flare. So what is it, guys? I want to get your comments in the comments below and the live premiere that we're doing right now. I also wanted to do a follow-up in regards to a sighting that we shared with you just within the past 24 hours out of Wichita of what looks to be some kind of tic-tac in the sky captured in broad daylight. What's very strange is the day after we posted this video, there was another breaking news in Wichita.
Social media in Wichita this afternoon went crazy with speculation over something they saw in the sky.
As some are sure it was a UFO, while others say there's a perfectly normal explanation.
Hundreds of Wichita residents shocked by this sight Thursday, saying they saw what appeared to be a UFO. Videos like this one recorded by Wichita resident Mike Marler quickly circling social media.
I'm driving back to work, coming home from lunch, and I noticed something in the sky really bright. It was surprising because we live in Wichita. We see airplanes all the time. We're right by the airport. But it was definitely different.
That's right, a new incredible sighting. Within 24 hours of us posting this video, there has been another sighting in Wichita. Could it be related? What's interesting is the video that we shared with you yesterday was over a year old, but now it has returned and it has made the headlines in Wichita. Has it returned to this general area? Is there some kind of military base practicing with reverse engineered craft? Is this what it possibly could be? It's strange that in Wichita this event happened twice within a year, and we broke the news just a couple days ago, and now it's breaking Wichita headline news over there that the town experienced this amazing craft. It looks like kind of a flying tic-tac, some sort of disc-shaped kind of object. It's very bright, and the people on the ground said it moved with incredible speed. So what's going on here? This, in my opinion, is not some sort of banner, an Arby's banner, as some people claimed. It looked like most of the people that witnessed this actually say it's not that. It's something that they never seen before, and they're aware of what's in the skies, and they're witnessing something that's fascinating, and it's unbelievable footage. I want to thank everybody for joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon, sharing your incredible videos from around the world, and we break it right here at Third Phase of Moon, sharing it with you, the people. Everybody keep your eyes on the skies. Be safe out there. Blake Cousins. We'll see you next time.
I think it's terrifying. I mean, this seems potentially like one of the biggest stories of my lifetime. And I don't care if it's about UFOs or whatever you call it. Something that we don't understand is getting very close to our military aircraft.
The technologies related to energy generation should come out first.
This hybrid aerospace underwater craft is able to basically generate an electromagnetic field.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air. And your charge is to see to that mission with the United States Space Force.
There were 3 people on my team assassinated, and I was almost killed.
With a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
It's a matter of national security.
but apparently just recovered are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
The president will respond to the subject the way they want them to. There's a black box with all the technologies that would give us a civilization that's sustainable, peaceful, etc., and that's been around for decades.
Everybody's asking the biggest question in the world. Are we alone?
Look, it's holding, it's just stalled out there.
The narrative that's being launched, which is a false narrative, is that we're not alone and that those civilizations are a threat. The problem is that the public has to be informed and involved.
It could be a brief statement saying, hallelujah, I'm finally vindicated.
I'm not completely convinced they're gonna let this stay like it is.
But the people who are surrounding that level of our politicians and government are not told. Like the movie Independence Day, where Will Smith, let's go kick alien butt.